This is the plaintiff, Kelly Williams. He says he brought his car to the defendant, a so-called mechanic, last June because his air conditioning wasn't working and it was very hot outside. A few days later, the defendant told him to pick it up because it was fixed, but by the time he got the car home, it broke again. Back and forth he went with this guy. He couldn't fix things right, and he wants a full refund of the $1,700.50 because the defendant simply didn't know what he was doing. This is the defendant, Keith Vardaman. He says he's been in the car business for 36 years. Thank you very much. He replaced the plaintiff's air compressor on his AC unit, and everything worked fine. 4 weeks later, the guy calls him complaining about the AC not working again, and he took a look at it for him. Unfortunately, the car's 20 years old. He had a new leak in a different part of the car, and the guy didn't want to spend the money to fix it again. Then he turns around and sues him today? Ha! Some people. He's accused of not chilling out a customer.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says he took his car to the defendant to fix the AC. Guess what? He got it home. AC didn't work again. The defendant says he fixed it, and it's not his fault. The plaintiff's car is almost 20 years old and keeps having issues. It's the case of, it's getting hot in here.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Mr. Williams, you took your car to Custom Import Auto Work, represented here by the owner. You're Mr. Vardaman?
Yes.
And the problem that you had with your car was that the AC wasn't working.
Wasn't working.
All right, and what kind of car is this?
It's a 2004 Lexus AS 300.
All right, and when you took it in, what did he tell you he thought was the problem?
The compressor.
And how can you tell, did he tell you that right away, or did he call you and tell you later?
He called me and told me later.
Okay, so how did you, are you the one who actually worked on the car or no?
Yes.
All right, so how did you realize the compressor was a problem?
No pressure differential.
Explain what you're saying.
The high side and low side pressures were equal.
Okay, and they're supposed to be?
High side should be higher and the low side lower.
Okay, so you replaced the compressor?
Compressor, receiver, dryer, flush the system.
And charged them how much?
$1,500.
Okay, so you take the car, and how soon when you pick up the car, I presume it's cooling?
When we got, it was cooling. It was semi-cooling. When me and my wife got in it, she noticed that it wasn't cooling.
Enough?
Enough. And I told her, well, give it a few minutes and let's see what it's gonna do. So we proceeded to the house, and before we got to the house, it stopped cooling.
Did you contact them?
Yes.
Now, you say in your answer to the complaint that he contacted you 4 weeks later. He says he contacted you immediately upon arriving at the house. Which one of you is telling me the truth on that? Can you, what evidence do you have that he contacted you 4 weeks later? Do you have the paperwork from all the times that he's
No.
So if you don't keep paperwork, how am I supposed to trust that you remember that one client called you in particular 4 weeks later?
Well, I had the paperwork at the office. I didn't think to bring it.
Man, you're getting sued. What do you keep paperwork and records for if it's not to prove the stuff that happened when you're getting sued? Now, according to you, you called right away. Do you have your phone records that would show that you called right away?
Yes.
May I have them?
If I haven't deleted them.
Did you text?
No, I haven't texted. It was, I called him.
Okay, so go ahead.
And that was maybe...
Well, let's establish something. Did you bring anything to court? Because your hands are behind your back and I don't see any paperwork anywhere.
All I brought was my statement.
Your own statement? Well, you're here to tell me that. I don't need anything on a paper. What I want to know is when did he bring the car to you for repairs?
June 19th, I believe.
Okay, and when did he pick it up?
2 or 3 weeks later.
It took you 2 or 3 weeks to fix the AC?
It took that much time for me to get to it.
Okay, what day did he pick it up?
I don't recall.
Do you have a specific day that you say he brought it back or alerted you to the problem, or you have no clue?
2 or 3 days later.
I thought you had said in your answer to the complaint that it was 4 weeks later.
I must have made a mistake.
Okay,
about
now
when he...
let me, you don't need to find the records after all now. So when you bring it back to him, what does he tell you it is this time?
When I take it back to him the second time, he told me it was the hose was leaking.
Okay, so here's what my question is. If a hose is leaking,
Yes, first it was the compressor went out. The second time I took it to him, he said it was a leak in a hose.
okay, is that accurate?
Yes, low
Okay,
pressure hose.
so where is this hose that we're talking about?
From the compressor to the hard line that goes inside the car.
Now, wouldn't that have been something you would have looked at beforehand when you were putting in the new
Yes.
compressor? So what happened? Why is it leaking? Is that something you had replaced with the compressor?
No,
So when
Probably
you
the
tested
pressure.
after putting the compressor, why didn't you find this leak?
because it hadn't started leaking yet. It probably had to build pressure up to cause the leak to start.
Okay, so you tell him it's going to be another $150, and he does pay you the money.
Right, just
And
for the
then
hose.
you replace the hose.
Right.
But according to you, that still didn't fix the problem.
No, ma'am.
And then and then what happens? How soon do you call him after that?
Right after I got home, again, he fixed the problem. The third time, I called him and told him
How
that
long? When you call him the third time, that's how long after you've brought the car home?
maybe 2 weeks later, because I wasn't driving it. I let it, when I got home, it was cooling. And then I let it sit there because I have multiple vehicles to drive. And it was on Labor Day, I got in it and no air. So
At
I
all?
called him on
When
Labor
you say no air, what does that mean? It's not
It
cooling.
wasn't cooling.
All right.
And I called him on Labor Day, and he told me he was at home on Labor Day. He wasn't at his shop. He told me to bring it, and I told him I'll bring it as soon as I can.
And then what happened?
And he looked at it.
Where? At his home or in the
When
shop?
I took it to him, when I had time to take it to him, I took it
At
to
the
him.
shop?
At the shop.
Okay.
And he looked over it. It was like maybe a week later, he looked at it and
Wait,
said,
when you say a week later, that means what? You brought it to the shop a week later, or he had
No.
the car for a week?
he had it for a week.
Okay.
He looked it over, called me and said it was a leak in the dashboard.
Okay, so how did you discover the leak in the dashboard?
With a leak detector, a sniffer.
Paint the picture for me of physically what you do in order to find that out.
Charge the system, take a leak detector, and run it around the evaporator case, the box inside the car. All the hoses.
How do you run it around? Like, is it a wand? And
It's got a probe.
Okay, and then what happens?
It'll set an alarm whenever it detects freon.
Why didn't you do that from the beginning?
I did do that from the beginning, but we did not reseal the whole evaporator case. In other words, we didn't take the dash out of the car and replace all those O-rings inside the car. We replaced all the O-rings under the hood, but not inside the car. With the new compressor, you've got more pressure. The O-rings are the same age as the system. That's probably where his leak came.
But if spending $1,500 on a 20-year-old car is going to cost more and more and more, why don't you just tell them from the beginning, this is a stupid repair, don't do it? It's not 20, it's 16. Let me give it, it's in the flower of its youth. Let me not make it older than it needs to be. I mean, you're saying, I read in your answer to the complaint, you seem to have this feeling that, he doesn't understand this is an old car and this is the kind of stuff that happens. You fix one thing and something else comes up. Well, I mean, no, if I pay you $1,700 to fix something, I'm going to hope that it's going to last me a little bit. And so if it's so horrible that it's not worth fixing, then why fix it? Why undertake to fix it at all? But because according to him, you never fixed it. He paid you a bunch of money and nothing ever. When a customer comes to you, they want the AC to work, and then you predict what's wrong with it, and then you say the AC is going to work after I fix it. I understand he has a new compressor. I understand he does have these new things, but they're useless because it turns out that is not what the problem was. So, I seldom see that side of things in cases like this because I understand what you're saying, that there could be something else wrong and how can you, but this isn't a guy saying, hey, I wanted my car to work and now my car doesn't work. This is a guy with a super specific problem. The AC's not cooling, pays you the money to fix it, and then it turns out that we now have a leak, and according to you, we didn't have the leak before. So if fixing it was going to break everything else, what was the point?
There's several different components that could leak in the AC system. It's not just the compressor and the receiver dryer. You've got O-ring seals at every joint under the hood and inside the evaporator case inside the car. There's no way to predict which.
Did you ever take
seals
the
will
car to another mechanic?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, let me see.
Here go the. That go one for the.
I'm looking for something very specific. That's
Here it go
the
right there, right here.
that's the
it, right
new
there.
mechanic you took it to.
Right, that's
Yeah.
it. And this is some more about the leak.
Is that from the same new mechanic?
Same guy.
Okay. This gentleman is suggesting that you need a new compressor again?
He looked at it, and it wasn't, when he cut it on, it wasn't turning. When you cut it on, it's supposed to kick in, and it wasn't kicking in. So I'm telling him, I know a little something about it, and I told him, put some Freon in it. Once you put Freon on it, it'll kick in, and he agreed to it. He knew, he just wasn't thinking.
I'm sorry, I don't, but then why is he giving you a quote for a new compressor if all it needed was Freon? You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I understand.
why is that a quote for a new compressor in there?
The question?
You didn't spend this big amount with all of that, this quote here, right?
No, ma'am, that's
Right,
a different
okay.
guy.
No, it's the same people.
Yeah, I'm talking about different guy with not him.
Yes, I understand that, but you didn't pay that different guy the $2,651 quote.
No, not yet.
What did you pay him? Anything or
I
no?
haven't got it fixed yet.
Okay.
And that's just an estimate on, and it's sudden to change.
Is there anything else you want to tell me?
No, ma'am.
Really? Nobody wants to talk to me about a gun and a knife?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Tell me all about it.
When I went and got my vehicle, when I went and picked up my vehicle, my brother-in-law took me to pick up my vehicle, and I asked them, they was sitting outside waiting on me to come get my vehicle. And I walked up to them to get my keys, and when I walked up to him to get my keys, I said, man, you know you did me wrong. And he said, how's that? Because you didn't fix my air conditioning. You supposed to have been taking the dashboard out, and I got it right here when he said it's gonna take 5 hours to take my dashboard out, which he didn't do. And he said, let's go in and look at it. And when we went in to look at it, he said, I didn't like the way you was talking to me on the phone. I said, all I did was told you I was gonna take you to court if you don't fix my vehicle. Well, I don't care how much money you give me, I ain't gonna fix it. And then my brother-in-law said, let's go. So we left, and another guy was talking, he was talking noise when we was going
Wait,
out.
what was the noise he was talking?
He was talking about, yeah, that's an old vehicle. You need to get another vehicle. That's what happened when you got an old vehicle messing with AC. And I said, who is this knucklehead here talking trash? And we kept on walking. And he said, well, if you want to come on back up in here, we can settle this up in here. I said, no, you come on outside. I ain't going up in there. And he closed the door down. When he
Wait, what does close the door down mean?
The garage door. He let the garage door.
And is he on the inside or the outside?
He was on the inside.
Okay.
When he let the door down. And now my brother-in-law, we was going to his vehicle, I was going to my vehicle. And next thing I know, the door go back up. When the door go back up, I look around, and here he come charging at me.
He who? That same guy?
The same guy,
Knucklehead?
the young guy, one of his
Right,
workers.
okay, go ahead.
And so...
Charging at you means what?
Charging at me like he's doing ballyhung.
How exactly what caused you to conclude that? Was he walking? Was he running?
No,
Did he
he's
have his
running.
fists up?
He was running. And
Running towards you?
Towards me.
Okay.
Because he already told me to come back in, and he let the door up.
Okay.
And when I seen him, of course, I put my blade out on him because I was defending him.
Where was your blade?
It was right here on my side.
So you pulled out a blade that had how many inches?
It was a little bitty one.
Okay, little bitty. Nobody carries one a little bitty.
Well, it was enough to get him off of me.
Okay, enough to get him off of you, not enough to get you arrested. Okay, so
Right.
you open it up, and what happens?
And
when you say off of you, he never made contact with
he
you,
never
right?
did make contact because he got in between us.
He who?
The mechanic
defendant?
here, the defendant.
Okay.
And he pulled out his gun and told me to get off his premises.
Wait. What do you mean he got in between you?
He stopped us from coming into contact.
Figuratively. So where was he physically when he stopped?
Right in front.
He came in front, and then where was his gun?
Right here. He pulled it out just like that and showed it to me.
Okay.
and told me to get off his premises.
So you brought a knife to a gunfight.
That's what everybody say.
All right. So now is there something you want to tell me?
I was in the office when I heard all this goings on, and so I took my pistol and walked out there.
Okay.
I mean, there's no sense in violence.
Yeah, I'll say. So what happened? What was it that went on? Why was your employee with a customer?
I have no idea. I fired him.
Well, oh, you fired him?
Yes.
On that day?
Yes.
Over this?
Yes.
That's a good result. See, this is kind of tricky because I understand your position 100%. You know, this is a real specific problem and it didn't get fixed. But on the other hand, you have a new compressor that you don't need a new compressor for. So I'm kind of, you know, and you're telling me that the guy says, oh yeah, all you have to do is put free on it. That the guy agreed with you.
Yes,
Yeah.
Judge.
Go ahead.
Not necessarily saying I need one or not. It might be burn up. Say,
Right, well, now you're making stuff up. I asked you that before. Do you have any proof of what the compressor cost?
I'm sure I've got a record at my shop.
Okay. Can you tell me? Do you know or not really? Like what the cost is versus the profit?
But probably 30% markup.
And then labor in addition to that?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. This is what we call a little rough justice, because on the one hand, he has some new, oh, by the way, and then apparently at some point you cracked the leather in his chair.
I had the seat recovered.
And you felt that it was probably,
It's just old dry rotted.
dry rotted just from age, but he ends up repairing that at his cost, correct?
somewhat, I think it was what my cost, because my air conditioner ain't fixed with my money I gave
Okay,
them.
correct. But he didn't. He had it fixed, and you didn't pay anything to get it fixed, right?
You want to know?
What is that document?
This is the 5 hours and how much they was going to take the dashboard out
Let me see that. Is that from them?
from him, which he didn't do. 5 hours to take the dashboard out. And if he would have took the dashboard out, we wouldn't be here, Honor.
Were you supposed to have taken the dashboard out?
Took out the lower glove box, the right side of the dash above the glove compartment.
Why wouldn't you have found the leak then?
Because I didn't open the evaporator case, I changed
I'm going to order you to return the entire amount. 1,000. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to deduct from that what the cost of the AC compressor is. The only evidence I have on that is actually not that far from what you have verbally suggested, because you've brought me no evidence. So what I'm going to do is I'm ordering the return of $1,200.50 to the plaintiff. Verdict for the plaintiff.
So the plaintiff prevails, but only gets $1,200, not the $1,700 he was seeking. Mr. Vardaman, you put the judge in a tough position. You didn't have anything to
I
support
didn't think
your
I
case.
need anything. I thought she had all the documents from him.
You didn't bring anything, nothing
No.
to help you out.
I didn't think
I
I'd
gather
need it.
you don't go to court very often, do you?
No.
Well, you learned the hard way. I'm sorry.
I suppose
If you
so.
had some paperwork, some dates and things like that on it, might have helped you.
Might have.
Okay, that's the way it goes. Thank you very much. You get involved in a situation where you need your gun very often?
No.
That's good. Good for you. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Williams. Well, maybe you can get your car fixed now. What do you think?
Praying I do.
You're going to keep the car?
Yeah, of course. I'm keep it, get it fixed.
Okay. All right. Good brand, good car.
Good brand, good car.
Need there. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck to you. Okay. Harvey?
Doug, I got to tell you, this is an interesting case because the judge talked about the defendant needing to bring paperwork. It's true he's being sued, so then you can ask the question, well, why does he need paperwork? He needs paperwork to prove his defense. And that's the point. You need to prove what you're alleging in court. Evidence is king, even in small claims court, and even when you're the one being sued.
This is the plaintiff, Mark. He says he purchased some freezers and refrigerators from the defendant for his restaurant business, and what he got was junk. That's right, the equipment didn't keep his food cold and frozen. The con man defendant was unresponsive when he called to complain, so he's taking him to court to get his attention. He's suing for $5,000, the amount he's owed. This is the defendant, Ryan. He says, first of all, the plaintiff's an abusive guy, and after a while he does admit to ignoring him because you couldn't reason with him. He did send over a repairman when he first complained, but the plaintiff kicked him out and told him never to come back because he was an idiot. Bottom line, he doesn't give refunds. He can have a credit for some other equipment, or he can send out another repairman to take care of any issues he may be having. He's accused of being cold to a customer.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff bought freezers and refrigerators from the defendant for his restaurant business, and they were junk. But the defendant says, sorry, he doesn't give refunds. It's the case of refrigerator. He hardly knew her.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Mark,
Yes.
you are suing Ryan. Actually, you're not. You're suing Ryan, and you're also suing the company Ryan works for $5,000 because, according to you, you were out all that because they sold you equipment that was garbage. All right, what happened here?
So we opened up a new establishment in June. We reached out to Ryan, who was selling equipment. Ryan seemed like a very trustworthy person, and he said there was a 90-day warranty.
Do you have paperwork from the sale?
Yes, we do.
Was this stuff used stuff or new stuff?
It was used. It was. Do you want to see the invoice?
Yeah, we can hand it to my bailiff.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we have a whole system in place. All right, go ahead.
But because it was an establishment, we had the 90-day warranty.
Yeah, and it doesn't even exclude anything. It just says 90-day warranty.
Yeah.
All right. So you get the equipment in June.
We get the equipment in June.
And you open what kind of an establishment? A restaurant?
It is a restaurant. It's on the ocean, so it's a seasonal restaurant. We only have 2 months to really make our money.
Right.
So there was a lot of pressure on having everything working.
Okay, what kind of food did you sell?
So it was lobster rolls was our choice item.
Delicious.
Very, very good.
You just made my mouth water. That sounds awesome. All right, so what went wrong with the equipment?
It never really worked properly. It would have been better off if it just wouldn't turn on, but it wouldn't hold the temperature. So it would get cool, but if we began to use it, it wouldn't hold the temperature.
What do you mean by use it?
Open the door.
It wouldn't,
Open the door,
Right.
that's what you mean.
It wouldn't hold at the proper
Okay,
temperature.
so go on.
Another main thing.
So
was
when is your first complaint to them?
The day we turned it on.
Yeah. Not only was it not working properly, you could see that it wasn't maintained very well. There were some electrical repairs done with extension cords. Fans were not covered. Things were held together with duct tape on the inside. So we called him up, and he was responsive. He said he will have somebody right away. We called him on a Saturday. He said somebody was going to be there on Monday.
Okay.
And that was the Monday before July 4th.
Right. Important
Right.
weekend.
So, yeah, nobody came on Monday. And there was a couple of times throughout the day that we said, are they coming? And he assured us multiple times that they
What
were
happened?
coming.
Why didn't somebody show up July 2nd?
I called the mechanic and I even sent them his number, the mechanic's number. I said, he told me he's coming this day. I have no control over the mechanic.
No, that's what I'm asking.
He's a
Did the
union
mechanic
worker.
ever tell you, hey, I got backed up, I
Yeah.
just couldn't go?
So
So
he
when did
tells
the
me he's-
mechanic go?
Mechanic didn't get there until Thursday. So this went
After the 4th of July?
After the
after the 4th.
All right,
So this
now,
went
if I
on.
understand correctly, it's not cooling at the correct temperature,
Mm-hmm.
but it's cooling. So you didn't have to shut down the restaurant or anything, but did you lose food?
We lost food. The defrost cycle also wasn't working properly. So then the machine would freeze up and then not work at all. So we lost a lot of product.
How did you keep okay, so you're suing today for $982.47 exactly for monies owed for spoiled food. How are you going to prove that exact amount?
We have invoices.
So a lot of the items that we lost were frozen, and those are our most expensive. So lobster case, in and of just one box of 8 pounds of lobster meat is almost $200. The soft shell crab that we served, one box of those is.
Do you have any evidence of having lost the food?
We have copies of the invoices showing that we had.
Do you have any pictures of the spoiled food or something?
You didn't take pictures
No, I
of
don't think we
food.
took pictures of the food, but we have the invoices from our, when
Well,
it
the
was finally
invoices show
repaired.
you bought it.
Right.
Right.
Right. Do you have anything to prove that food got spoiled?
Usually people prove that by taking a video on the, like your
I
phones
understand.
have, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People will take video,
Of
look at
course.
this, I can't use this, and they get all indignant, and then I get to see the actual food that's spoiled. So the guy comes on Thursday, does he fix it?
No.
Okay, what happens on Thursday?
Well, he did make some repairs, and it worked a bit better, but
For
it
how
just
long?
didn't hold.
Less than a week.
Yeah, less than a
And
week.
then what happens?
We texted again, more frustrated.
It's also
Okay,
worth noting.
let me see the text.
I think I have it here.
Let me hear from you while they're getting that in order. I know you turned him off to come in here, I'm sorry. Go
So
ahead.
I have it on a picture. I took
What's
a
your
screenshot
role in
of
the
it.
company?
I'm just a driver. He never called me to
How old
come.
are you?
I'm 20. I was 20 at the time. Now I'm 21. He called my boss, and then my boss called me, telling me somebody's coming to the warehouse. Can you go there? In the beginning, he never called me. When he came to the warehouse, he gave me his number in the warehouse, and then I texted him from the warehouse. I never had his number. I have no idea who he was. My boss just told me to come there and then open it up. If you need something, sell it, because my boss was overseas on vacation.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm just a delivery driver twice a week for him. I do a few
Well,
of the
apparently he
restaurant
trusts you a
equipment.
little more than that. You're not just a delivery driver.
That's
He
what he
has you there
trusts.
for a big sale, and he sends you to my courtroom
I don't
instead
know,
of
a
coming
20-year-old
himself.
owns
So you
a-
are more of a trusted employee, but you're right, you shouldn't be personally sued. So the lawsuit against him personally is dismissed. So now your boss tells you to go there, and then you're the only face they ever see. They never actually, I guess, see your boss, right?
My boss was on vacation. He goes
So
overseas
when they
for a
call
month.
you, you don't say, "Hey, I'm a delivery boy. I'm going to go shoot hoops with my friend." What's your name? Saul. Instead, you handle the complaints on the warranty. And what happens? So you send
Because
them.
my boss was overseas, so I told him. I told him the stuff doesn't
Is your boss
work.
your dad?
No.
Is he your uncle?
No.
Is he related to you?
No
Is he
way
a friend?
possible.
That boss is leaving. I wouldn't leave turning off
No.
the coffee pot to my 20-year-old. Okay? And the boss
No.
is leaving a lot in your hand. All right.
Yeah, he
so,
does that all the time to me.
Yeah, I want to be overseas and leave everything in the hands of it.
He lives a very good life.
Yeah, he should. Well, he should. He's earned it. All right. So now, where are we? So you end up sending the repair guy. The repair guy doesn't hop and
I
skip
have no
and
idea
jump.
who the repair guy is even. He told me call him. His
who?
name, the owner.
The
owner told me call him. I called him, sent him over. I don't know when he went, and they just kept on texting me. Then they're harassing me. Then they're threatening me.
Wait. Hold on. Talk to me about threatening and harassing, because texting you to fix this stuff is not harassing.
It wasn't just texting to fix. It was more like cursing and
Okay,
then
let's
telling
see it.
me.
Do you have the text?
There's some right here.
I don't want to see them on paper. I want to
I
see.
have a screenshot of it on my phone. To be honest, 2 weeks before I got the lawsuit, I deleted everything. I got a new
If
phone.
you
see
should,
some of
if
the
you're
cursing
using your
there.
personal phone for business, and you are apparently.
I don't really do. I just do deliveries for him.
No, sweetheart,
Just-
you have to stop saying that, because you are standing in my presence. Mm-hmm. So you're the guy he sent to represent him here today. So you can say you do deliveries, but you also do sales. You also do court representations. So you can't say, "Oh, I'm 20 years old. I want to play video games." No, you're here. So you got to man up, and you're here. You're the guy. You are the company right now.
Yeah.
What you got there?
So, Your Honor, you can see there where he promises to send a delivery person on the 11th.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at what I want to look at, not what you want me to look at. So everybody can just chill. We're going to go back to June 22nd.
I've never so much not wanted to get a text from my girlfriend in the middle of it.
Oh, no. I'm not going to look at your girlfriend's text. I'm going to look at these texts. Oh, you mean right now? She texts now? Yeah, she better not. Okay, so the first of the texts, telling you there's a problem, comes on June 29th. Couple of issues: glass door not holding temperature, low boy gaskets beyond gross and some falling off, and a broken blower held with duct tape. You respond to him. You don't go, "Hey, I'm just a delivery boy." You respond, "That is just missing a screw. I will send my mechanic there to look at it." On July 3rd, later in the day, "Please let us know what's going on. I need to know if someone's coming and when." To which you answer on July 3rd, "Mechanic just left my warehouse and is on the way to you." So did the mechanic go on July 3rd?
He said he was going to.
Is he your employee?
No.
Mechanic just left my warehouse and is on the way to you. So hopefully by 2, he will have parts, etc. And what happens that day? Nothing.
Did not
He doesn't come till Thursday. So on July 10th, which is about shorter than a week from the Thursday that the mechanic comes, We lost a few $100s on the product because of this. Please be honest with us. Are you going to fix it or pick it up and refund our money? The amount of headache this has caused us is unbelievable. You ask him, the mechanic came to you? And they say, yes, he fixed it, then it failed again. And you say, call him to come back. I will speak to Mark. Who's Mark? You? I will speak. Which one's Mark? Okay, so the texting back and forth is from you to him. I will speak
Correct.
to Mark, but I suspect that if you can't get a mechanic there to hold up your side of the deal, the next person you will hear from will be our attorney. Please keep in mind we aren't your usual restaurant schlubs. I don't know what that means. We have real resources and real lawyers. Ooh, my lawyer's bigger than yours. I highly suggest you sort this out. I called the mechanic. It should be coming today or tomorrow. Call him and see when he's available to come. What makes you think that's acceptable? I have business to run. Sending me the same schmuck who it up the last time, today or tomorrow, or eventually, when he's available, is nonsense. You can't or won't be a man of your word, then don't waste my time. You shook my hand and made a promise. You're either a liar or not. You call a mechanic and get him here like you promised, or you get a lawyer because I will drag your buttocks to court, but that's not the word you use, for the sheer fun of it. To screw over another Jew to his face is the blankest thing you can do. Okay? Because you're both Jewish and you felt like it was
We felt a little bit of at least a cultural bond that would be
Just so
trustworthy.
you know, the small freezer had some secondhand blanky fan in it that didn't spin, so things overheated, lost more product. Low boy freezer was set wrong. Defrost cycle, probably by you, more lost. You really got us good. Just wait, you. Hey, that got nasty fast.
I'm a chef, Your Honor. I get a little hot under the collar when
Do you?
my food
Yeah.
gets spoiled. And
So if the refrigerator was defective and there was seafood inside, lobster and crab, and they spoil, is the guy who sold the appliances also responsible for the seafood?
Yes.
For the cost?
Sure. I don't know.
Okay, you're honest. What do you say?
If he knew about the defects.
No, he didn't know. Well, he didn't know about
He
the
knew that his refrigerators were often defective.
Does
and
he have to
liable.
know the refrigerator? If he sold the refrigerator and it's defective?
I say that he sells it as is.
Oh, but it wasn't. Going inside the courtroom.
What ended up happening? Is the restaurant still open?
Well, it's a seasonal business.
So you close it?
So we're closed
So
for,
what
for
happened
the
with
season.
the
We ended up having to buy another piece of equipment.
Okay.
And we have two of the repairs that we could give to you.
we have two.
I need all of the repairs because that's what you'd be entitled to. Okay.
There was, I mean, for what it's worth, there was at least one more of about equivalent value. We kept it to the period that was referenced within the text messages.
Okay, but it has to be, you're entitled to anything you spent within 90 days. Do you have anything else to show me but these two?
We don't.
All right.
Well, the total.
Because you guys were, and when I say you guys, at some point, is there another employee besides you who works there or no? Because you're just a delivery boy. Who's running the business
The
while you're...
owner.
Huh?
The two owners.
So why don't you just have the owners call them back if they're being rude to you instead of breaching the contract by not honoring the warranty?
I showed my boss all the text messages. He said he's gonna drag me to court. So we said, let him drag you to court.
Drag you to court?
Yeah.
You think I'm stupid or something?
Really?
Yeah, do you think I'm stupid?
No.
Give me some evidence the boss you're saying exists.
What evidence? I don't know. I own the company. I don't own the company.
I'm fascinated that the owners send a 20-year-old to court. All right. So what's your answer for why you give a 90-day warranty and then you don't honor it?
He said, I told him the mechanic will come. I called the mechanic. He came. And then he told me he doesn't want that schlub coming back.
Okay, so because it didn't work.
So then he could come back and see what's the real problem.
Well, did you
I'm not
send
a
somebody
mechanic.
else? Right. So there are lots of mechanics. And you said he wasn't your in-house guy. Remember when you said that?
No.
So
I
if
just
he's not
call
your
him to
in-house
go.
guy, there's other mechanics you can call. Did you ever call another mechanic so you can make good on your contract?
He's the only mechanic that I use.
Okay.
They
Well,
use.
that's going to cost you, sweetheart. All right. So I know you had to pay $1,500 to replace one of the units. I know that you paid $976.50 for one of the repairs. I know you paid $1,193.50 for another of the repairs, which is a total of $3,670. I know you've been saying you've lost food, but I kind of need to see some evidence of lost food for that. So I'm finding in your favor in the amount of $3,670 against the restaurant.
Fair enough.
Verdict for the plaintiffs.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So the plaintiff recovers a little over $3,600. Ryan, the defendant, is coming out. I got a simple question to you. Are you mad for your boss sending you here to defend this action? Not at all?
No.
Do you think he'd be mad at you for losing this case?
Probably.
Did you question him as to why he wouldn't come stand up in court?
No.
Why not?
Because I was the one dealing with him.
Yeah, but you're the driver. So you say.
Yeah.
Why would you defend your boss in court? It's hard to understand.
He told me you could go. I don't know.
And you said fine?
Yeah, why not?
All right. I think the judge even doubts that you aren't the owner of the company, you know? I think that. I could be wrong. You don't own the company.
No, I don't own the company.
Crazy. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
On your way. What do you think? Did you realize you were dealing with the driver for all this time?
No, not at all. He completely represented it differently. He negotiated the price. He took us around. He said it was his family's company.
Do you think he's lying here in court?
He lied either in court or to us separately, but yeah, I think he's lying.
Okay. Well, you got part of what you were seeking, okay? The business do okay?
It did very well.
And
Thank
you're going to
you.
open it again in the summer?
Oh, yeah.
Sure will.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Harvey?
Okay, Doug, I mean, the judge made such a good point that, you know, if somebody causes you damage that you wouldn't necessarily anticipate, like spoiled seafood, you got to keep evidence that that happened. You know, take pictures or video of the lobster being thrown in the garbage, but you need some proof.
This is the plaintiff, Alter Shlomo Zalman Cerulnik. He says he purchased $1,000 worth of Southwest Airlines gift cards on Craigslist from the defendant, and the guy ripped them off because the cards are phonies. That's right, they were purchased with a stolen credit card. The defendant blocked his number. He's still running this same scam, and he's here suing him for the return of his hard-earned $500. This is the defendant, Scott. He says he's never sold a gift card to anyone in his life. He still lives at home with his parents and says the plaintiff has the wrong guy. The plaintiff seems sincere in believing he sold him the cards, but unless he was brainwashed and doesn't remember, he didn't do it and owes nothing. He's accused of scamming an online customer.
All parties, please raise your hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff bought $1,000 worth of Southwest Airlines gift cards on Craigslist, and turns out they were phonies. But the defendant says he didn't sell the plaintiff any gift cards. It's the case of gotta fly.
Thank you, Doug.
You're welcome, man.
Mr. Cerulnik,
Yes.
you have been ripped off on the internet.
Yes.
Yeah, shocked and appalled. Never heard of such a thing. So apparently you saw an advertisement or something that said, I'll tell you what, I'll sell you some gift cards for Southwest at half price.
Yes. That's correct, Your Honor.
Didn't it sound too good to be true?
It did.
Right.
So,
I mean, don't you, like, in this day and age, shouldn't your mind go to the many ways this can be a problem?
you know, I hadn't considered how the actual scam could work. And it
Right.
turns out the scam is based on the credit card chargeback.
Right,
Which
because
means-
apparently these were legitimate gift cards, but they were illegitimate in the sense that they had been purchased with a stolen credit card.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So that's one way it could work. The other way is that they're not real Southwest gift cards.
Right.
And with a Cash App, you're not going to get your money back.
Right.
So why would you, just the greed of getting the half price?
No, I was actually planning a trip.
Yes, I know. But you were greedy trying to get the half price
Right.
gift cards.
Yes.
I mean, if it sounds too good to be true, you know, pretty good rule to live by is that it is.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, so go on.
So, well, I didn't know that Zelle didn't protect purchases. I could have looked that up and figured that out myself.
Do other cash, okay, so Zelle is
PayPal
one
does.
Cash App where if you have it on your phone and I have it on my phone, it's linked to both our bank accounts and I can send you money.
Okay.
You end up wiring the $500.
Correct.
And you get the gift cards how? I'm
He-
not wiring. You end up sending through Zelle,
Through Zelle.
a Cash App that's on your phone,
Correct.
connected to your bank account that arrives in the other person's bank account, the thief.
Correct.
And then how does a thief send you the gift cards?
the thief actually sent me the gift card numbers before I sent the money over. I went on the Southwest Airlines. I typed in the gift card number to verify that it had the balance that it said. It was $5 less than it was. I booked tickets. Once I was satisfied that it worked out, I then sent the thief the money.
Okay, which is interesting because the thief was pretty trusting. Because a thief gave you the card number, you were able to use it and book something. So the true beauty would have been if you didn't send the money and went like this to the thief. But that didn't happen. You actually sent the money to the thief.
Correct.
The thief you sent the money to, what's the name of that thief?
Scott.
Okay, so there's 4 full names, okay? Yes. I know you have asked not to use 3 of them, and you want to be referred only as Scott, but is that first name, other middle name? We know Scott is correct. And that last name, your name.
It is.
All right. How else do you link it to them? Because this is him. Because this is an interesting case because you apparently then did your own research to try to find who it is that had nailed you out of $500.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So, and by the way, how did you find out? Because you'd already purchased the tickets.
Correct.
Then Southwest came back to you.
Correct. So the email address he gave me
and said to you,
oh,
these were purchased with a stolen credit card, so you have no tickets. Okay.
Correct.
So then what happened?
So so the email address that the defendant gave me was at Gmail.
The name on the Cash App was?
When you send money through Zelle, it says, please make sure it's the right person. The first name of this person is, and then it's just the first name.
But who were you dealing with when you first purchased the thing? What was the name of the person you were dealing with?
He didn't give me his name. He just gave me the email
address. Wait, you sent the money to a guy who you didn't know his name, his full name?
Correct. I had verified the Southwest gift card, and I didn't realize that they could retroactively cancel it.
Okay. So you send the money to a guy named... What else do you know?
Just his email address.
So then what happens? Now you know you've been had.
Right.
And what do you do to try to figure out who's the person who had you?
Correct. So I did a search. I narrowed it to California just because the defendant had said that we'll meet in Anaheim to pick up the physical gift cards, which I was then stood up because it wasn't happening. So I didn't know it was California. But when I did a search and one of the results was Scott, I was like, this is too much of a coincidence.
Because of the S and the A?
Yes.
So it was very close to the email address?
Correct.
Okay, so then what did you do? Did you speak to Zelle? Did they help you out at all?
Yeah, so Bank of America had sent me a letter. So I filed a claim.
What role does Bank of America have?
Zelle is integrated with Bank of America. So
Totally or in his case?
No, in my case, because Bank of America is my bank.
Ah, okay. So your bank is Bank of America, and then what do you do?
So my bank knows where the money went. They just won't give it to me. They won't give me that information without a subpoena.
So you subpoenaed it, and what happened?
I subpoenaed, but because it was too close to the court date, they rejected it. I could not get any information out of Bank of America.
So what's your story?
Well,
did you sell these or didn't you?
I did not. First of all, I've had fraudulent stuff happen on my bank account. So that's why I closed it. And also all kinds of other stuff that was on my old cell phone.
Meaning?
Meaning almost everything on my old cell phone got hacked into. So I don't have that phone anymore. And I got a text message from, I don't know if it's this guy or someone else, saying that I sold him gift cards as well. So.
As well?
Yeah.
So it was someone else?
This is the first time the fraudulent thing happened on my card. And let's see.
What do you mean by on your card?
On my bank account.
Did money come into your bank account?
No.
So what was the fraud on your bank account?
No, it's they were saying that they were sent to my bank account, but it never did. And
do you have your bank records with you?
No, I don't have that bank anymore because of all the fraudulent
So you can still have bank
stuff.
records. What does that have to do with having bank records? You could still have that. So who's they that were saying that money was sent to your bank account? Who's they?
So is Craigslist a crapshoot?
Yeah, you pretty much you never know what you're gonna get.
But if you never know what you're going to get, why do people use Craigslist? It seems too risky.
I think because it's cheap and easy to access.
But sometimes cheap turns out expensive, right? When you don't get what you want. So how do you protect yourself?
I think you look at reviews, look at their profiles, see if you can trust them or not.
Okay, fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
Who is they?
Someone texted me that if I sold them a gift card, ironically, it is a Southwest gift card. And
Why is that
I don't know
ironic?
if he's texting me to
Why
find
is that
out.
ironic?
Because if he's the guy that was texting me, it was a few months ago, but now that I'm hearing this, it sounds like it's a different person.
Why?
Because he was saying it was recent, right? So
two people are accusing you of selling stolen gift cards?
that's correct.
He sounds guilty of sin.
Right, but
Yeah. But you still got to walk in with the proof. Can you tell me, sir, has the police spoken to you?
no. Nothing, no money went to my bank account.
I can't just have you say that. I need you to show it to me.
I don't know how
Who's the gentleman with you?
My father.
Stand up, please. Did you talk to him?
To him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ask him what the heck the story was here?
Yes.
Did you take a look into his account to see if $500 went in?
No.
Do you have a Zelle account?
No, I don't. I do not.
Have you ever?
No.
So as it stands right now, your one and only evidence is that this is a guy who has similar names to... That's it? That's what you got?
That's correct.
That's nothing.
I know.
Have you told me everything you want to tell me?
No.
Is there anything else that's relevant and that proves that it's him?
You would have to be the judge of the proof.
Okay, go ahead.
I purchased the report online for Scott. There's also in the report, there is a prior conviction for theft.
Have you been convicted of theft?
It wasn't theft. It was
Dealing in stolen goods?
receiving stolen property.
Okay. You mean like credit cards and stuff like that?
No. My brother bought iPads, and I don't remember how all this happened, but that's what I was convicted of.
What were you doing? What was your guilt? What made you guilty of it? Why your brother buying iPads doesn't mean you plead guilty to a felony. What was your role?
Receiving the stolen property.
And doing what? You had them in your possession? How many?
One or two.
Here's what we're going to do. Get that subpoena because it's going to show where the money went. And if the money I find went into his account, two things are going to happen. You're going to pay the guy back and you're going to get arrested. That's what's going to happen, folks. So I am going to hold my ruling in abeyance and give you an opportunity to properly serve that subpoena on your bank, who will then answer to you what bank account and what address that bank account belongs to and what phone number that bank account belongs to, and then the circle will be closed. That is my ruling.
So the judge is holding this case in abeyance, as she put it, while the plaintiff tries to find out exactly where the money went. Does this concern you at all, what the judge has just ordered?
No, because I didn't do it, so I don't know.
I mean, you did not do it, you say, for
No,
sure.
not at all.
Are you concerned about, do you know whether money went into his account?
No, I don't.
Did you inquire with your son about why are you being sued in people's court and what's
Yes.
going on here and explain it to you?
Yes, he says he didn't do it, so.
Because you sound like you're not that interested either. I just find it strange, that's all. Really strange. Okay, very good. Thank you very much. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll see you back. Who knows? All right, Mr. Sorolnik, how do you feel about that? And you were kind of hesitant about opening up to the judge too,
Yeah.
Why?
No, just, making sure that I have everything in order and correct.
Well, you really didn't have enough to obviously prove the case here in court.
Right.
You need more info.
I do need more info.
So you're going to get it?
I am. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, you should, definitely. All right, well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay, hope it works out.
Thank you.
All right, very good. Really, strange case, Harvey. What do you think?
Okay, Doug, a couple things. First of all, the plaintiff did not get the subpoena for the bank record, so that's that. But I do want to say that, when you use something like Craigslist, and it may be cheaper, but you do have to protect yourself. And one of the things you got to do is you got to make sure, like they say, you got to check reviews, obviously, but you need specific photos. And they may have one photo of something on Craigslist. It wouldn't help with Southwest airline tickets, but if it's a photo, say, of a car, you want 5 photos, you want 10 photos, ask for more. You want to see everything. Don't just accept what the seller is trying to give you.